In this video, I am going to show you how to create a glass morphism card in Tailwind CSS. We will add blur, transparency, and smooth hover effects to give it a modern frosted glass look that you often see in premium UI nowadays. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to build this and reuse it in your own projects. So I'm here in my Visual Studio Code and I have a Hello World application running here in my browser. So let's start by giving some class names to our main div tag. So I'm just going to make this as flex and we are going to give it a height of screen. Let's justify everything in the center. I'll try and write all the Tailwind in different lines so we can see it clearly here, and we can write another property that is items to center. So this is going to bring our hello world in the center of the page. So now we are going to replace this hello world with a div tag and we are going to build a card inside it. So this div tag is going to have one h1 tag which is going to be card title. It's also going to have one p tag and this is going to be subtitle, and then last thing it's going to have another p tag which is going to have some kind of text. So I'll just copy some lorem ipsum text here. So now we have three tags inside this card, and on the main wrapper div we are going to put some class name to make it look like a card. So here I'm just going to say this is going to have a width of small and we are going to make it a flex. Flex is going to be column and we can give a gap of 4 between each element. On this card we can give a padding of 6, and if we give it a shadow large, now this is going to look like a card. We can also make the borders rounded by giving rounded large. So now borders are going to be rounded. Let's add some class names here as well. So on this h1 tag I'm going to add a class name. This is going to have a text large. Font is going to be semi-bold. So I'm just going to again split it into different lines so we can see the classes clearly here. So these are all the classes on the main div tag. And on the p tag we can also give a class name here. This is a subtitle, so this is going to have a text medium. And our last p tag, which is going to have a class name, text is going to be small. There's a lot of text here, so we need to make sure it's having enough line spacing. So I'll just give a line spacing by adding a property leading relaxed. Now this is already looking like a card. Now we are going to transform it into glass morphism card. To do that and to see the effect that we have on the glass morphism card, inside this main div tag I'm just going to add another div tag, and this is going to have a class name. Let's give it a position of absolute. Height is going to be screen. I'm just going to give it a background color of yellow 500. Let's give it a min height of screen, and we are also going to assign a width which is going to be full width. So basically above the card I have placed this element which is having the full height and the width, and it's having a background color of yellow. But now I'm just going to make this card appear over the yellow background. So here I can just add one more property which is z index. If I give it a z of 50, now my card is going to be over the background. As of now we have not assigned any background on the card, so let's try and do that. So I'm just going to assign a background white with an opacity of 30, and now this is going to make it look like a glass morphism card. And if we add one more property here which is backdrop blur, and this is going to be 3xl, this is going to add some more effect to the glass morphism. And here on the div tag, which is basically the background on this card, if we assign another property which is blur, blur is going to be 3xl. So this is going to blur the background behind it, and whatever background we are going to assign here, let's say I assign a pink background, my card is going to be reflecting that background like a glass. So whatever is the color of the liquid in the glass is going to be reflected from the outside. So, and that's why we call it a glass morphism card. So you can try different colors here. If I give it a blue, this is going to reflect a blue through the white because we have assigned it a background color of white, and we have assigned a backdrop blur, which means white, which is blurred a little bit. Let's also try to add a hover effect on this card. So when I hover over this card, we are going to zoom this card a little bit, increase the size of this card. So I'll just go to the main div tag, and that's the one we are using for the card. Let's add one more property here, and that's going to be transition, and transition is going to be transform, and on hover we are going to transform it and scale it to 105. So if I save this and go back here, now if I hover over my card, I can see my card scaling to 105. We can also do some additional steps. For example, by default this card is having a shadow of large, but on hover I can increase the shadow. So shadow is going to turn to XL. This is going to add a little more effect on the hover, which is hard to see directly here because we have a background color. So guys, that's how we can design a glass morphism card in Tailwind CSS. And that's all I wanted to cover in this video. If you found a value in this video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.